Hey, estate planning attorneys, what if I told you that the key to attracting and engaging more clients is not more marketing, but telling the right story, your story, and in the right way at the right time? Hi, I'm Katz, founder and CEO of New Law Business Model and Personal Family Lawyer. And as I just said, the missing piece to getting more clients is not about spending more on marketing or even learning the latest sales techniques. The secret lies in telling your story in a way that creates connection with your prospects on a deeper level. At New Law, we are currently supporting over 600 personal family lawyer firm leaders as they transform their practices into businesses they love. And a key piece of their business growth has come from mastering the exact method I'm sharing with you right now. With the right story shared in the right way, you build trust, eliminate complexity, and set yourself apart, making it easier for prospects to choose you over anyone else. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can leverage the power of storytelling in your law practice. Plus, stick around until the end to learn how to get access to 2 valuable resources that will help you craft what I call your firm story, as well as a special invitation that can take your practice to the next level. Let's dive in. All right, let's first start with the simple truth. Your clients are not just looking to hire an estate planning attorney with the right credentials. I know, it may seem that way to us, but what they're really looking for is someone they trust to help them make great decisions during their lifetime and be there for their family when they can't be. And to be blunt, trust is not built by listing your qualifications or your experience. It is built by sharing your story and by sharing what makes you different than the typical lawyer or even DIY cheap legal solution. And many lawyers really struggle with this. They struggle to connect with potential clients because, well, we're relying too heavily on facts, logic, and even legal jargon. But the reality is that people make decisions based on their emotions first, and then they justify those decisions with logic. So if you can create an emotional connection from the start, and if you use your story to illustrate what makes you truly different from all the other options, well, you make it easy for prospects to choose you over their financial advisor, their insurance plan, or DIY legal solutions, or even AI or legal tech. Listen, think about it this way. Your clients are not going to get educated enough to remember the technical details of everything. They're just not. It was hard for you to learn, right? But they do remember how you make them feel. And if you use stories to illustrate key points about what makes you different, well, they'll be able to make a smart hiring decision and feel great about it. Storytelling helps you get points across that would otherwise just not likely stick. It's the difference between being just another lawyer and being the lawyer that they trust, the lawyer they recommend, who they know can give them the planning they need that will work when their family needs it, which is the promise, by the way. Now, when you carefully craft your story the way we teach it, also known as what we call your firm story, well, it becomes more than just a way to attract and engage new clients. It actually becomes a powerful tool for you to explain complex concepts, to build long-term relationships, generate referrals, and even for you to build a business that you love. Because when you're telling your story, your business is going to start to align with it. So in this video, I will show you exactly how to craft your firm story in a way that differentiates you from the rest, gets you hired by the right clients, and has them refer everyone they know and love to you. So now that you understand why storytelling is essential, let's get into how to create a compelling firm story that connects you with your clients and sets you apart from everyone else. We'll break it down into 3 clear steps. Plus, I will share examples so you can start using storytelling effectively in your practice right away. So let's start with step 1, knowing the power of storytelling. Storytelling becomes the most powerful communication tool once you understand and leverage its power to create connection points. Your story allows clients to relate to you personally, resulting in them feeling seen and understood. You teach through example. Instead of telling people what you do or even what to do, you show them what it's like to work with you, using stories to illustrate the points that you want to make. Storytelling also eliminates complexity. You use stories to simplify the legal process and make it so much more approachable. When clients hear your story or the stories that you tell them to illustrate points, they can see themselves in those stories. And that helps them understand why it's so important to work with you. Let me go ahead and give you an example right now and practice what I preach by telling you a story. about one of our member lawyers. Kim was a personal family lawyer firm leader before joining our team at New Law, and we taught her how to tell her story using our firm story methodology. Kim explained how before becoming a personal family lawyer and learning life and legacy planning, she was billing hourly, often struggling to return calls consistently, and didn't clearly communicate what her clients could expect. She described how this left her clients feeling frustrated, unsure of what would happen after they hired her. And Kim, in her firm story, shared the story of my father-in-law, who had spent $3,000 on an estate plan to keep our family out of court and from having to deal with his ex-wife, only for us to end up in court and dealing with his ex-wife. I thought that must have been malpractice, right? But it turns out it wasn't. It was common practice. And Kim used that very same story with her prospective clients. And as she did, they nodded because they just worked with a lawyer where it was exactly like that. Hourly billing, non-responsive, and this client had in fact even just gone through probate for her mother's estate due to failed planning, just like my father-in-law's. And now was feeling overwhelmed and let down by the lawyer she had hired, who was extremely unresponsive and then still sent hefty bills each month. So Kim's story really hit home. And as Kim told her story, she explained that when she became a personal family lawyer, it all changed. And today she charges flat fees, all agreed to in advance, no surprises. She has systems in place to respond to her clients within 24 hours or have her team handle calls immediately and then schedule with Kim when she's needed on a call. And Kim promised that toward the end of their meeting and their time together, she would lay out her entire process for serving her clients so they always knew what to expect if they worked together and to ensure that their plan worked when their family needed it. When the client hired Kim and experienced everything as promised, she said, "Wow, you really made everything so easy and you did exactly what you said you would." And she was so happy with Kim's service that she referred 4 more clients and even hired Kim for additional legal work for her business. So do you see how that story works? Kim's firm story didn't just tell her prospective clients what made her services different. It illustrated with stories that her prospect could actually relate to directly. And then because Kim lived into that story, she built trust, delivered results, and created lasting relationships that benefited her practice with referrals that cost her nothing in terms of marketing. And that is one of the most important beauties of storytelling, by the way. It is that when you share stories about what makes you different, it forces you to live up to the promises you make. And that makes you a better lawyer. When you tell your story effectively, it creates connection, shows examples of what it will be like to work with you, and eliminates complexity. So it's super easy for your potential clients to move forward with hiring you. Now that you understand how powerful storytelling can be, let's dig into how to structure your firm story to highlight what makes you different and to align with the needs of your clients and your prospects. So that takes us to step 2. Follow the framework of a compelling firm story. Now that you've seen how storytelling works, let's break down the framework of a powerful firm story. This structure specifically ensures that your story connects emotionally, communicates value, and shows your clients why you are the right lawyer for them. So let me start by telling you what a firm story should do and should not do. A great firm story should explain how you used to do things before discovering a new and better way. So you want to be vulnerable. You want to share how where you came from didn't teach you the best way to do things on behalf of your clients. Clients really like to hear that. It really builds trust. Then highlight the tangible benefits of how what's different now creates value for your clients and improves their experience. Use specific stories to illustrate this. Because it isn't about telling people what you do, right? It's about creating a memorable story like my father-in-law's story that shows them why you do it differently, how you do it differently, and why that would matter to them. And here's what your firm story shouldn't do. Most lawyers go wrong with storytelling by using way too much legal jargon, focusing on technical competence rather than illustrations, forgetting that people care more about why you care than how much you know. And again, clients don't come to you because of your credentials. I know we think that as lawyers, but they really don't. They come to you because they trust you. So your firm story is not a biography, it's not a resume, it is a tool for building trust and connection and illustrating key points that your prospects need to know in order to hire you and know what to expect. All right, let's go ahead and recap then with an example of how this plays out. Kim's story works because it illustrates not just the change in her business model, but why she made the change with real-life examples and how that change benefits her clients. She highlights the challenges she faced with hourly billing, the inability to be responsive, and ultimately failed planning, and then shows them how switching to flat fees, clear communication, and having a team transformed both her practice and her clients' experience. This kind of storytelling gives your clients the confidence, not just in what you do, but how it will feel to work with you. Okay, so now that you know the framework, let's start building your story using our worksheet to guide you through your past, your present, and your future realities. Which takes us to step 3, use the character arc worksheet to craft your firm story. So now that you understand what makes a compelling story, it is time to build your firm story using our character arc worksheet. This tool will help you align your experiences, your transformation, and your values to create a narrative that connects with your clients on a deeper level. So your story has 3 key parts: your past reality. What experiences led to you becoming a lawyer? How did you learn to be a lawyer? And did something happen that inspired you to change the way you practice? You need to be willing here to share challenges or moments of doubt. These are the pieces that humanize you. Remember, I talked about vulnerability. And then you're going to talk about your point of transformation, right? So you've got your past, the way you learned to do things, where you had a moment of crisis or realizing you needed to change something, and then your point of transformation. What did you recognize that had you realize, oh, I can't do things that way anymore. That actually doesn't work. And then you look at your current reality. What have you changed in your practice? Why does it matter? How do your systems, your pricing model, or your processes benefit your clients today? Now, this is very important because each section of your future reality story needs to align to your past struggles, the things that you saw didn't work. And that should directly connect with the solutions that you've created for your practice today. Your present reality should naturally flow into your goals for the future. So here's how it looks in practice. If you used to rely on hourly billing, part of your current story might be about switching to flat fees and how that hourly billing model didn't work for your clients, where they'd call you on the phone and then get a bill in the mail that they didn't want to pay. Or maybe they wouldn't call you on the phone because they'd be worried about getting a bill in the mail. And that would then cause them not to get your guidance and counsel when they really needed it. That's something that everybody can relate to, right? Or if you were once overwhelmed with client communication because you didn't have any systems in place or a team, and then you weren't able to be responsive, your story now would highlight the systems that you've put in place to respond promptly and build lasting relationships. Or like in the situation with my father-in-law, where he got him documents-only plan that ultimately failed him, even though he spent $3,000 to keep us out of the probate court and from having to deal with his ex-wife. And so I created all sorts of systems to make sure that I was putting in place planning that would work, to make sure that assets were owned in the right way and plans would stay up to date. Now, my clients or my prospective clients would understand why that was so important with that simple illustration. When you use the character arc worksheet, it helps you tell stories that are more than just bullet points. These stories become transformation points, examples that demonstrate how you've grown, how you've changed, how you're different, and how your clients will benefit as a result. So if you would like to get access to the character arc worksheet, just comment ARC, and our team will reply with all the details about how you can get access to that. Now remember, your story isn't just about the past. It is about building trust for the future. When you align your personal and professional transformation with the value that you provide today, you become more than just a lawyer, transactional lawyer, or even a litigation attorney. You become a trusted advisor who your clients come back to again and again and refer everyone that they know. So now that you've seen how storytelling can transform the way you connect with clients and build trust, the question is really, are you ready to take the next step and transform your law practice into a business that you love, using your transformational experience of what doesn't work to create a reality that does work for you and your clients? If so, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We've already done it for you. All you need to do is book a call with one of our law business advisors who will walk you through all of the specifics of how we will help you to build the systems in your law practice so that you don't just have a business that you love, but you have a business that your clients love, that your community loves. Plus, when you show up to your call with your law business advisor, they will give you access to my proven firm story template so that you can hear word for word what my firm story sounded like. That's normally a members only resource. And it literally is the exact firm story that I use to grow my law practice into $1 million business in just 3 years. So if you want that template and to hear literally word for word what my firm story sounded like, simply type advisor in the comments to request your call with a law business advisor. And when you do, be sure to mention the firm story template that you heard about here so you can hear exactly what I said word for word in my law practice. Now, heads up here, because not everyone qualifies for this call or getting to see my template and hear exactly what I said word for word. You only get to meet with a law business advisor if you are a lawyer who has, number one, gone to law school, yes, and either passed the bar or taken the bar and is waiting to find out if you passed, and who is ready to serve families and or business owners in a brand new way, the way that we call life and legacy planning. That's our heart-centered counseling-based service model for estate planning, where we've created all the systems for you to get hired close to 100% of the time. Our benchmark is a minimum of 80%, but many of our lawyers are getting hired 100% of the time by never being pushy, convincing, persuading, and instead inviting their clients to choose their own fees, which they do on average between $4,500 and $6,500 per client, while delivering a truly meaningful service that results in planning that works and is not going to fail the clients in your community. And you do have to be ready to invest in creating business systems that will turn your law practice into a business so that you can deliver on a truly outstanding service that you and your clients deserve. And of course, you need to hold yourself to the highest standards of integrity and make your clients' success your top priority. So if that is you and you want to get my word for word template for how I said my firm story so that you can use the character arc worksheet to develop your own, we invite you to type advisor in the comments below or look for the link in the description for this video and go ahead and book a call with one of our law business advisors, and be sure to mention the firm story template and you'll be able to hear my story word for word. All right, I do look forward to seeing you on the inside.